Hey everyone! You guys asked for more Christmas baking videos, so I am doing some Christmas baking that I'm going to be giving away as gifts. So I thought I'd do a video showing you guys how it goes. So I'm making two different kinds of biscottis, and I'm going to do it into two different videos so it won't be extraordinarily long. And the first one is going to be on this channel. I'll link the next one that's going to be posted on my vlog channel, just so I'm not bombarding my beauty channel with, a whole bunch of baking, especially the same kind. So, like I said, I'm making biscottis, and the first one is a craisin, so that's dried cranberry and pistachio biscotti, and I have the red and green going on, that's why it's a Christmas one. And then I just put some bit of chocolate on top, just little chocolate strands. And basically what biscotti is, it's a twice baked cookie. So you bake it and then you let it cool and then you cut it into these slices and then you bake it again. It's really good to dip in tea or coffee. So I'm going to be putting this one, and then my other one is a gingerbread one in a little box, and then giving it with some coffee to some of my coworkers. So stay tuned to see how I do this one. So what we need for our cranberry pistachio biscottis is flour and olive oil. We're going to use that instead of butter or shortening. And then sugar. And then we have vanilla extract and almond extract. And then our pistachios. And then just some salt, some baking powder, and our dried cranberries, craisins. So first we're going to put in our 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 1, 2. And then we're going to add our sugar. And since I halved the recipe, it was 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of just plain white sugar. And then we're just going to mix that together. We are going to be adding more things and then beating it, so just as best as you can. Then we're going to add in our extract, so a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/4 teaspoon, so just a little bit of the almond extract. And then mix that up as well. Then we're going to add an egg that I forgot to mention in the first part of the video. So yes, we also need 1 egg. And then we're going to just beat that up with a hand mixer. So not very long, I just did it for 15 seconds, but just so it gets all nicely mixed up. Then we're going to set this aside, and we're going to have a new bowl, and we are going to put our dry ingredients into this. So we're going to add our 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of flour, again just because I halved the recipe. And then a little bit of salt, they say like 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm just going to take a little bit into my hands and put that in there, a dash or whatever they say. Then we're going to get 1/2 teaspoon of our baking powder. There we go, and add that in. And then just stir it, just using the back end of the mixer I was already using. So then we're going to take our original wet mixture, and we're going to gradually pour this, the dry ingredients, into the wet while we mix at the same time. And then we're going to mix in our pistachios and our craisins. And then with this, we're going to mix that in by hand. Really trying to mix them in there as best as you can. Now at this point, it's supposed to be quite difficult to mix, and that's okay. So now we're going to take this after I washed my hands with actually cold water so you can handle it better, and we're going to make a log with this. Now again, if you did the correct amount, then this would give you, or you'd have double, so you'd do 2 logs. But since I halved my recipe, I'm just going to have 1. So approximately like that. We want it about 2 inches wide and 12 inches long. So I have stuck that on my baking sheet that I lined with parchment paper. And you can kind of shape it a little bit. Obviously you can see I have lots of stuff on my hands. So I'm just going to try to add that in where I can. Mine is a little bit less than 12 inches long, but that's okay. So now we're going to put this in our oven, and it is set to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to put it to 35 minutes. And then basically when it beeps, then we're going to take it out of the oven, let it cool slightly, and then we're going to cut it into strips, and then we're going to bake it again. So now the 35 minutes are up. So we're gonna take it out, and as you can see, it did grow in size a bit, which is good. And when we cut them, we're gonna cut them on the diagonal. But not yet. We're gonna set it aside and let it cool down for about, well, they say 10 minutes, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover it with a dish towel or a clean dishcloth, and then just let it cool a little bit slower, because as you can see, it's already kind of starting to crack right here, and when it cools too quickly, then it's just gonna crack even more. So just putting this over top like that, and then we're gonna let it cool for 20 minutes. Now that we've waited our 20 minutes, we are going to transfer this onto a cutting board, and then we're gonna cut in diagonals. I've already kind of, as you can see, cut it like that, and you can kind of do, if you wanna have short pieces, you can go like this. If you wanna have longer ones, you can go like that. So I'm gonna cut pieces like this. Now we're gonna get the good pieces, and we're gonna press them back on our sheet, and we're gonna put them kind of facing down like this. So we have our green and red biscottis here, and now we're gonna put them back in the oven, and this time it is set to 275, and we're gonna put them in just for 8 to 10 minutes. So we're gonna get them really nice and crisp and crunchy. So now that they are all done, we are taking them out, and we're letting them cool. They're still a bit soft. I'll look at this one, but see, you can kind of see it's still a bit soft, but once it cools, it will harden out. So here we have our biscottis. So now that my biscottis are all cool and crispy and crunchy, I melted some dark chocolate for these light ones. So basically we're just gonna swirl a fork in it, and then we're just gonna go like that and just kind of do lines across it. Doesn't have to look perfect, but we're just gonna give it a little bit of chocolate. I chose not to dip these ones because I know they're not huge chocolate fans, the people who I'm giving them to, but I just wanted to have a little something. So then, instead of just a plain one, you have one that looks like that. So here we have our biscottis, and I'm just gonna let the chocolate dry. So I'll leave it for about half an hour before I package them into their boxes. So that is how you make these cranberry and pistachio biscotti, and I'll link the next video below, and then I'll also have it right here how to make the gingerbread ones, which are perfect for Christmas as well. I hope you guys enjoy this and give it a try, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.